Welcome everybody to the first pay-per-view ever in our WWE 2K19 alternate universe mode. Thank you once again for coming back to the channel. Welcome to you if it's the first time you've ever been here. This was a pay-per-view that I did not expect to be making. It is tagged last minute. I can't wait to get into the action, and we're not gonna have to wait long because here comes Robinson now. We're gonna be making history, in our first ever match tonight. It's the first ever tag team match here in universe mode. It is Rich Robinson, and wait, we're not gonna get to see the entrance here because Dixon Armstrong and George Blake. This is a personal match between George and Robinson, really. Here comes Buster now. He was waiting to make an entrance himself, but didn't get the chance because the jump was made by Dixon and George. You've got to think that that was a planned move by those two, and it's worked an absolute treat so far. It is the first time that we've seen Robinson since the second time he assaulted Bailey. Actually, he's took control of George now. Dixon's still in control of Buster though. This match hasn't even officially started yet. And it came about, this match, basically because I think at one point George tried to recruit Robinson, and yeah, he got absolutely battered for it backstage. And yeah, obviously that's not being forgotten, and it was probably the only reason that Robinson's got onto this card is maybe George and Dixon thought, if we can get a tag match between ourselves, and now Robinson's got Buster as his representative as well, maybe, just maybe, there's an opportunity for revenge here. But it started well with the jump, but it's not looking all that hot of an idea at the minute for these two. Saying that though, George and Robinson went to start this match, then that hasn't actually happened, and probably for the best. I think it will now be Dixon Armstrong and Robinson who are going to be the legal men in this match to get it underway. George ducking the clothesline. Robinson now takes control of Dixon, and I think finally now we have got the match underway. And George at the moment, he's really on his game. Robinson tried the cheap shot there, it didn't work. He's however in control of Dixon Armstrong now. And now things have settled down and we're settling into the match. Again, I would like to thank you all for being here. If you do enjoy what you see tonight, and it started quite frantically actually, please do hit that like, hit that subscribe, and of course leave any constructive feedback that you've got down in the comments box. Things maybe, if you've been around here for a bit now, that you want to see, new stars, ideas for them, anything like that really. Yeah, just leave it in the comments box. But yeah, thanks for being here. Don't forget as well to hit that like, turn that thumb blue, and touch the notifications so you don't miss any more of what's going on right now. But again, I did start to mention that this match came about because of Robinson. Really, he looks completely different to how he did when we first came here. He had the purple hair when he got signed. He was in the expensive shirts and this and that, but it looks like since aligning with Buster, and we did hear Buster say last week that Robinson reached out to him, maybe he learned a lesson when Bailey kept him out of the showcase match. Maybe that just opened his eyes a bit, and he's realised that he might have all the talent in the world, but if he doesn't get the opportunity to showcase that, as we've seen some really nice teamwork here from Buster and Robinson, maybe Robinson's realised he's got to change his ways if he wants to get on around here, and Bailey has shown him and taught him that lesson. Who knows? Only really these two know what is going on. I was going to say Dixon's finally made a reversal. He needs a tag in the worst way, but if he does and he brings George in, is that really a good idea? One thing I haven't had a chance to mention to you guys yet is that this is actually an elimination match. So yeah, it's not one fall. So if Dixon was to get pinned here, then, or tapped out for that matter, then George there on the apron, who Robinson's still trying to go after but hasn't, well, he has managed it now. He'll be left all alone with both Buster and Robinson. I don't think that that's something that he really wants to be thinking about right now, but the way that this match is trending, it's highly likely that that is what is going to happen. And it is a bit of history here at the moment, like I said, being our first ever tag match in this universe mode. So SummerSlam itself, at the first pay-per-view, historic. Seeing our first ever tag match, historic. It is actually Robinson's and Buster's and George's in-ring debut as well, so bit of history there. We'll have to just see how it plays out. I suppose really whoever wins this match will go down in the history books as well as the winners of the first ever tag team match in this universe mode. Another tag here made by Buster, so Robinson coming back in. They're tagging really well at the moment. Dixon, I don't think, has got anywhere near his corner so far. Big clothesline there from Robinson, and again, just positioning his body nicely. You can tell that he's had experience elsewhere. He's almost veteran of the ring, it seems like. He knows exactly where to be positioning himself with a big backbreaker there to Armstrong, who's caught a little bit of momentum lately in the championship tournament. And keep in mind that none of the matches that you see tonight will affect that tournament in any way other than really, I suppose, momentum. You really want momentum to be carrying on, and there is a bit of blood as Dixon there was smashed into the shoe of Buster, who now just charges George off the apron, so again cutting off any potential tag to George from Dixon there. Buster at the moment is going to have to do a little bit more big chop there to Dixon than we've seen him doing, but he's against a really wounded Armstrong at the moment. Robinson saying, I don't want to tag back in at the moment on the outside. He's saying to Buster, you've got this, you've got a thing. This has been in the making between these two, not this match but this relationship. And as soon as the idea of this match came about, you have to think that Dixon's showed George a thing or two, and you would imagine that Robinson in the same way has showed Buster a thing or two about in-ring moves and things like that. And we're seeing a lot of strikes here from Buster, so it probably would lean towards saying that. And I think we might see a tag here now. Buster's done really well at keeping Dixon right in the corner of himself and Robinson, absolutely just minimising any chance of a tag at all to Dixon, to George from Dixon. And as bad as this is looking for Dixon at the moment, and it is looking bad, as we see Robinson again with the cheap shot on George, there is something definitely underlined between those two. There has to be, that we just don't know about at the moment, because you wouldn't have thought that the apparent hatred that there seems to be there at the moment is just merely from the fact that George tried to recruit Robinson. You wouldn't have thought that at all. And there is the 2010 from Robinson, and this could be it, because George was bombed off the apron. It is it as well, and he did try to get in, but Buster cut him off, and now this looks bad, and already there's an uncomfortable feeling from myself here for George. But Robinson, oh, I thought he was going to tag Buster there. He might still, you know. He has as well. That has surprised me, if I'm being honest. He's took hold of George again here at the moment though, and oh, big backbreaker again. And what is Buster doing on the outside? He's got a chair. Thankfully he's put that down, but I don't think that he's brought that in for no reason. No, he hasn't. He's going to crack George across the head. This looked like it was a planned thing between Buster and Robinson here. They've isolated Dixon the whole match. As soon as it come down to 2v1 against George, Buster intentionally getting himself disqualified, and that's leaving George and Robinson now in the ring together. George in no way, shape or form is an athlete. We have mentioned this before, and you can just see the disdain from Robinson there to George as he just rains those right hands down again and again and again. George is in a lot of trouble here. Thankfully, the referee has took that chair out of the ring, but I don't think it's going to make a dime bit of difference. Big right hand there from Robinson. And it looks as though he's just going to take his time here. He's soaking in. There is not a lot of adulation from the crowd, I can tell you that, but whatever it is, whether he likes being booed or what, I don't know whether that does anything for him in terms of getting him fired up or not. I'm really not sure. What are we seeing here at the moment now? He's standing on the middle row, hooks George up into a suplex. That is a big suplex from the outside back in, and things are really not looking good for George at the moment. There we go, right into the centre of the ring, just seeing it over and over again. And yeah, George is done. He could have covered him there, but again, I personally feel that there's something more between these two that we just do not know about. We don't know what was said, to be fair, before Robinson even attacked George, and he's just shouting that over to the commentary table right now, that he's been waiting for this. And oh jeez, what next? What next? Is poor George going to have to suffer through here? Oh, big drop kick, and I think that one might have opened him up as well. The ref might need to think about stepping in here. I know it's the first match of our pay-per-view, I understand that. And Robinson again soaking in the hatred from the crowd at the moment. Yeah, the ref, I know it's the first match of our pay-per-view, first ever pay-per-view here in Universe mode, but honestly the ref might just want to think about stopping this. The trash talking again to George from Robinson there. Where is he taking him now? Back to the outside, big right hand, and George goes flying there off the apron, almost into the barricade. And what's Robinson got in mind here now? He's got George up on the shoulder. And now he just drops him across the guard railing there. Jesus, just end the match. He's not even gone for a cover since this became 2 against 1, and he's gonna, no, he's not gonna do it again. What's he doing now? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. No. Oh, he's done it. Face first into the ring post goes George, and well, Robinson could have got the count out, but yeah, you just get that feeling that he's not going to be looking for no count out tonight. He wants to deal out more punishment by the looks of this. From the barricade into the ring post again, and what next? What is this? A couple of steps back and bang! Oh man, George. Someone from the back, Bailey, if you're watching, maybe even he needs to come out and stop this at this point. This is not fun to watch anymore. This is a pure, impressive physical specimen and athlete against someone who literally has just thrown himself into management of one of the competitors of Dixon Armstrong. He's not even got experience in that. He's just been thrown a bit of a lifeline by Dixon, and he's just getting pummeled here now. Absolutely just smashed to bits by a merciless Robinson. The ref could count, he could maybe speed up the count here. That would probably help George as well, who's using the barricade at the moment to just keep himself upright. It's a 7 count, but here comes Robinson again to break the count, and he's even got time to again just taunt the fans here. He's thoroughly enjoying himself, it would seem. And oh Jesus Christ, straight through the barricade goes George, and he's probably broken in half at this point. The fans now, the bloodthirsty fans, are absolutely loving it. They're shouting that this is awesome. I don't think it's awesome. It's actually a little bit disturbing, if I'm honest. But the fans here in the arena are absolutely loving what they're seeing. as George somehow has dragged himself to his feet for the first time in a good while actually, but as soon as he gets back in he's just smashed down again. He has got no chance at all. It just needs to end. It really just need to end at this point. He ducks the clothesline though there, George, and what on earth? Can you believe the strength of him there? What on earth is that he's just delivered? He's going for the cover now. It's a 1, and that's all it is. That has to be mentally soul destroying for George at the moment, who he's just got to mount any kind of offense that he can and just try and get out of there really. He's just dropping these knees at the moment though. What he doesn't want is exactly what's just happened there, and that is Robinson to get back to his feet. Again, that offense from George just looks like it's had no effect really, and the big right hand again. George is just flattened, and just like that, the complexion of this match has changed once again, and George is just in big trouble. And again, Robinson, disturbingly, is just absolutely enjoying himself at the moment as he tosses George across the ring like it's absolutely nothing. And yeah, he could easily have gone for the pin there, but he's chose not to. And again, what we're going to see here now, George is just dropped on the top buckle, face first again, and the aggression just pouring out of Robinson at the moment. He couldn't end this any time he wants to, but he's literally just having fun in there. He's now going for the steps. What on earth does he need the steps for? He's not brought them into the ring, which I suppose is a little bit of a blessing there for George, who gets back to his feet again, only to get smashed into the buckle again, and by the looks of it to get snake eyes onto the top, face first off the top buckle again now. And Robinson just picking his spots. He went to the ankle of George there, and it's like he's almost telling him just to stay down, but part of me thinks with the way that he's going at the moment, he actually doesn't want to stay down, and whatever George tried there, it didn't work. And at this point, honestly, just go for the pin, go for the tap, just put this man out of his misery. Whatever's going on, surely you've done enough to him now. If anything indeed has gone on between these two, we don't actually know if anything else, but the fact, I don't know, maybe Robinson just enjoying the spotlight. I mean, this is as bright as the lights have ever been here in universe mode. And what were we seeing here now? Bang goes the spine of an untrained athlete across the hardest part of the ring, and just more suffering and misery and punishment dished out to George. And it don't look like it's going to get any better, as he's just been put onto the announce table now, and the underhooks here, it's going to be the 2010 through the table, and oh my life, it's getting to the point where it's almost ridiculous now. We may never see George again at this point. And again, the crowd in the arena absolutely just loving the destruction of another human being here. And Robinson, mercifully, I was going to say, may take the count out here, but no, he's gone back out to George once again. And this is probably the most destructive way that we could have ever thought that we would open our first pay-per-view. And George at the moment, out of complete desperation, just going for the single leg crab there, but that was pure desperation at this point. I'm kind of getting vibes of back in the day of when, I think it was Armageddon, 99, 2000, somewhere around there, maybe 2001, Vince McMahon versus Triple H sort of thing going on here. Oh man, big powerbomb there onto the steps, and that could be it now for George, but no. It's not. He's going to have to suffer some more yet at the hands of, I said the crowd were bloodthirsty, but geez man. Another overhead belly to belly, and those ankles that he stomped on earlier just bouncing off the stairs. And there is not a part of George that is not going to be in severe pain right now, and probably for the rest of tomorrow. If Dixon's on Raw next week, that's something that's got to be checked. I'll say next week it's going to be tomorrow night, then again you can hear the crowd there. I don't think that we might see George with Dixon tomorrow, if they do indeed have a match. I just don't see how he could. I mean, look at him at the moment, he's just straight across the top of that announce table board there, and Robinson still not letting it end for George. He's got him again now, dragging him around the arena. What more can he do to him at this point that he hasn't already done? Into the barricade that we go. Maybe for George's sake, I shouldn't have asked that question, as again he's just slammed, and it's the sudden stop as his body hits the guard railing. Into it again he goes. He misses a chance at maybe some offense there, and again Robinson at the moment, oh, this could end in a double count out. Could you imagine? After all that, we're up to 9 now, and this could mercifully be it for George. But no, it's not. Robinson just knocks the ref cold, so he can't continue the count. That is how badly that he wants to really, it seems permanently hurt George at the moment. And it's not only me that's been able to see this, surely. I mean, maybe Bailey's not ending it, because from a businessman's point of view, you can clearly hear the crowd are really into this one. And it is clearly so personal between the two of them, because if not, you would have thought by now that Robinson would have ended this one long ago. And again he's got George on that shoulder, and this time it's the stairs that he goes to face first. Oh my life, he may have permanent damage, as I said, after this one. And Robinson again, he's enjoying himself still. He has waited, to be fair, so long to get into this ring, and he's done himself no favours. He's extended that wait, really. But I still am sticking to, I think that there's more to this than we know. Because he's a competitor, and this isn't competition for him. This is just complete and utter annihilation, and the aggression again pouring out of him here. And George's, it's been so long since he's mounted any kind of offense, defensive offense. He just doesn't, he's obviously well overmatched. He's not got a chance in there. Clothesline again, and surely at this point, just end it. Just end it. It looked like for a second he was thinking about it there, and instead he shouts something to the fans. The first few rolls there. Oh, maybe mercifully we're gonna see the end here for George now, as he goes for that 2010 again, lands it, and surely now that's it. The fact that he's even gone and done that surely means that he's ready to end it now, and he's had whatever he needed to have out of George. Hooks the leg, he doesn't really need to, but it's done. It's 1, it's 2, and it's not over. It is not over. The suffering continues for George here. Again, hooks him up. 2010 once more. And maybe that's just the explanation point now, and surely George can stop suffering, and that'll be all. Again, he hooks the leg. It's 1. The ref doesn't even need to see the shoulders, and mercifully, it is over for George. My God, what a beating he's took tonight. And again, guys, he's not an athlete. He's just been absolutely smashed to pieces in there. It's a big win for Robinson. Debut under the lights. That's history in itself, under the lights of a pay-per-view. What a dominant display it was as well. They had a game plan, clearly. Both teams had one. But we can't forget that Dixon and George got the jump on Robinson during his entrance. Maybe that's something to do with the sheer aggression that we saw. But Robinson and Buster definitely will get Dixon out the way, When that's done, you get out of my way, Buster, and I want George all to myself. And he has absolutely, Robinson put George through the ringer tonight. Again, if Dixon's on Raw tomorrow, I would not expect to see George by his side. He's got to have a lot of recovery. But that is our first ever pay-per-view match, and my God, what a brutal one it was as well. Let's move on with the card tonight. Oh my God, what a way to open up our first ever pay-per-view. There's a lot for everyone to live up to with that being the opener. But this match up next is Brock Cruz versus A-List Born. And at the moment, on the one side of the match brackets, A-List Born is really starting to come into his own. Whereas on the other side of the tournament brackets, on the alternate week at the moment of Raw, if you like, Brock Cruz, who is quite the arrogant man, quite conceited, has a lot of self-belief, and he needs that. It's not a show or anything like that. He needs that in his psyche in order to perform at his best. But he's caught a couple of L's lately on Raw in the tournament, and it's kind of almost sent him off the deep end in a way. But I think last time out or the time before he got a win, so it's been enough to get him on the pay-per-view card tonight, and he believes he deserves to be here. He needs it. And if he picks up a win tonight against the A-lister, which is going to be a challenge, don't get me wrong, if he can pull that off, then we could see Brock back at his best like he was in the tournament in his first few matches. But here it comes now, the A-lister. How can you have a pay-per-view without your A-list superstar on the card? In his words, you can't. You literally just can't. And he probably has a point, the way that he's been performing lately. He's been at the top of his game, has A-list, picks up some big wins, some unexpected ones as well, with the way the tournament looked like it was shaping up. But fair plays to him, he keeps defying odds, he keeps picking up the wins, and he has earned his way onto the card tonight. And there you go, just flexing for the fans again, about ready to get this one underway. It's going to be a close one, this one. Again, we've not seen these two, and we probably won't for a while compete against one another because of the way that the fixture list is in our tournament at the moment. So yeah, a bit of a different one here, and when they do come to compete on Raw, and they will at some point in that championship tournament, the winner of tonight's match will have a huge psychological edge going into that match. And you saw the aggressive start from Brock there. He absolutely spiked the A-lister down with that brainbuster, and he's just one step ahead at the moment. He's actually out-quicking A-list, and that's something I didn't expect to see from Brock there. But the more wins this man gets, the more momentum he builds, the more that self-belief and that confidence plays into his matches, the better he's going to become, because he thrives off that. He needs that. It's important in sport anyway, but for somebody like Brock, who is all about that, yeah, he needs it. And when he gets it, you start to see performances like this. He's absolutely just taking A-list to school at the moment. I didn't expect this to be such a frantic start, but again, we have managed to repair the arena, by the way, after the complete destruction of it in our first tag match. But yeah, the bar has been set really by Robinson, Dixon, George, and let's just hold that for a minute. It's just a one count. George and Buster, they set the bar high for these guys to try and reach tonight. We'll see if that happens. A-list taking George out of the ring now. He's going to go for some kind of suplex here. He got him up, to be fair, but he just didn't have the power to finish the move off. And definitely Brock's got the size and the strength advantage in this one. smashing A-List's face off the apron there, and I thought for a second he was going to do the A-List pose there. He didn't know. Picks A-List up now off the floor, shoots him back into the ring. He's not going to take the count out win, obviously. He just booted A-List in the side of the head there. And A-List, he quite like stood with us in that way. I can just imagine him being pleased, not the face. Oh, and here is Brock's big suplex now. He calls that the prelude because normally it signifies the beginning of the end for his opponent. So we'll see. He's hooked the leg, ref a bit out of position. It's 1, 2, and A-List kicks out. You have to question if the ref were in position properly, does Brock walk away with the win there? I've got to say he probably does, you know. So A-List has got away with one there, but at the moment Brock has just absolutely smashed him to pieces tonight. Here he goes now again, head first into the buckle. Finally the A-List gets some almost defensive offense in, if that makes sense there. And straight away he's starting to feel himself now. Massive chop there. And he's starting to use that quickness. That's exactly what he needs to do. But he's missed the springboard moonsault. And that's given A-List a bit of a problem here, because Brock now has got hold of him again. Slowing this one down. Into the following corner. Clothesline. Bulldog. That could be enough. We've already seen the one big move. But Brock there with authority grabbing the A-Lister. He's got him all bent out of shape here. Oh, nice counter though. I thought A-List was going to roll him up there, but chooses not to, and that is a big, big forearm from Brock. And the A-Lister at the moment, how much more can he take is the question. Oh, bombed out of the corner there. Again, I thought there might have been a pin attempt. Oh, there is now. Ref's in position this time. 1, 2, no. A-List out again at the last second now. Just cranking the neck now is Brock, as he's probably, it's been such a high impact, high paced, high tempo, if I can get my words out, match this one. Maybe he was taking a breather himself there. Big kick from the A-Lister though, to the back of the head of Brock, who's getting up again now. The A-Lister's waiting for him. Glancing blow to the back, and the final cut there from the A-Lister. Is that all? Surely he goes for the pin. He does. He's hooked the leg. Ref's in position for this one. It's 1, it's 2, and it's not 3. Big kick out there from Brock. I literally thought that was it. Out of nowhere with the final cut. And again, Brock using that quickness we don't normally see. Big DDT. A-Lister's open. He's hooked the leg, and again the ref's out of position. It's 1, it's 2, and the A-Lister using that split second just to get the shoulder up there. We're going to see it again. He's the prelude suplex. Big suplex now on the A-Lister, and surely now that's it. But Brock is deciding no. He has saw the A-Lister bleeding and goes straight to work on that face. He's got to be really annoyed with the ref in this one, I would say. Brock. Out of position twice was the ref after the prelude plex. What is he doing here at the moment? Brock is just standing there almost eerily, just waiting and watching like a hunter over his prey there. Choking the life out the A-Lister now. And is he calling for the end here? He could be. Picks him up, cranks that neck again, just taking the tempo back down. He's taking us on a real journey in this match, is Brock. Picks it up, drops it back down, the tempo of this match. Oh, he's going for a submission here. I don't think we've seen this from him yet. He calls that the cruise control. I think, yeah, the A-Lister's managed to get out of that. Again, he's probably annoyed that he couldn't get the job done due to the ref keep being out of position, so went for the tap out, didn't get it. And A-Lister, somehow you saw him there. That back looked a bit stiff the way he got up there. That couple of prelude flexes, it's hardly a surprise. And again, just a big forearm, and down goes the A-Lister. But the veteran move from him there, just taking himself out of the ring, and Brock's really starting to feel himself. And like I said at the top of this match, the more that he starts believing in himself, the more difficult he's going to be to beat. And A-List might be finding that out here, but he's doing a lot of damage on the outside here is the A-Lister. Some big moves there. Beats Brock to the punch this time, using that quickness again. He needs to do that. Brock again, one step ahead there. I don't know what the A-Lister was going for, but he couldn't get it. He's going for a big... Oh, sunset flip here. The ref again out of position. What is up with him tonight? And this time, maybe that's a bit of karma for the A-Lister there, because again, if the ref's in position, this match is probably over. But there's the big kick to the back of the head, but you can see there he's gassed now, is the A-Lister. Trying to feel his way back into this match, trying to get some air into those lungs. And he's calling for that final cut again. If he hits it, this could be it. But he can't hit it. Brock felt it coming and just smashes him back to the outside of the ring via the top rope. And the A-Lister hadn't moved as soon as he landed there. What's Brock got in mind now as he's dragging him around ringside? Again, off the hardest part of the ring for that bloodied up face of the A-Lister. It's been ultra competitive, this match. It's really been about the ref not allowing Brock to put the A-Lister away. Sorry about that. And here goes the right hands now from the A-Lister, trying to get them strikes going. He tried that at the top of the match and it wasn't effective. He's managed to just drop the weight on his hips there though to stop whatever Brock was thinking. And could he put him to bed now? Dragged him back up. Oh, right hand to the gut there. Brock felt that one. Follows it up with a Russian leg sweep as well, working that midsection, and there you go. A-List born is what he's saying there. Just stomping the heck out of Brock here now. But Brock's back into it again. Just that game-changing power he possesses. Every time A-Lister builds a bit of momentum, that strength comes to the fore, and he's just bending him backwards now. You shouldn't really bend that way, but every time he's put A-Lister in a submission tonight, the A-Lister's found a way out, and he's found a way out quite quickly as well. So I think Brock should probably stop going for them. Fist drop there, not seeing one of those in a while. Almost shades of Jerry the King Lawler there. Big right hand followed by the super kick again. That is one of the A-Lister's favourite combination. He's going for the pin off it as well, and he's... How on earth is that not a rope break? Oh wow, that's it? Wow, Brock is going to be fuming with the refereeing in this match tonight. Twice, for my money, he had the A-Lister beaten with these prelude plexes. Ref out of position. Fair play to the A-Lister there, managing to power himself out of that one. This was the little bit of karma, because I think he could have won it there had the ref been in position, but that was the only time in this match that the ref was out of position for A-Lister. And then he gets the 1, 2, 3 where Brock is clearly in the ropes, but well, he's not going to care about that one little bit. He's got himself a big pay-per-view win tonight, has the A-Lister, and he's letting you know it as well. Congratulations to him. Great effort to just hang in there. He's an absolute bloody mess. Brock dominated him tonight. Should have got the win as well a couple of times, if we're being honest. And the A-Lister was a little bit lucky that for whatever reason the ref did not call the rope break on that final pinning combination. But there you go. Brock back on the losing trial. It's another win for the A-Lister. A big one under the brightest of lights in this universe mode so far. And he comes up with the goods. Congratulations. And again, let's move on and see what's coming up next on this card. And that would be Alex Charming versus Stud Rivers. And there is a little bit of a story building between these two. I quite don't know what the relationship is like at the moment. It started a few weeks back now where Stud Rivers was on a massive roll, an absolute massive roll. He was undefeated for the longest time, the same as Hunter King is still undefeated, Max Rutan still undefeated. But there were a few weeks where Stud Rivers' opponents were getting attacked by this guy backstage before their match on that particular card. And people started to piece 2 and 2 together. And yeah, we did actually, for one of his matches, saw Alex Charmin come out to the ring with Stud Rivers. Stud started to lose. There was a bit of blame going between them, back and forth. Alex, I did find out in the end, said to Stud, I don't really want to be associated with someone who keeps losing. When that came out, Stud then went and won his match that night. So I don't really know what's going on between them at the minute. Are they still allies, still friends, whatever you want to say, or are they not? There is word going around that actually this match, it's kind of like, I don't know if you will have seen anyone watching this in Film Fight Club, where friends were fighting friends to sort of see who was the better man, maybe establish some kind of pecking order, I don't know. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe it's Stud proving to Alex, no, I'm not a loser, and then maybe they come back together again. Maybe it builds even a bit more of a rivalry between them. There's just so much going on in this one. There is an element of personalness, if that's even a word, in this match. So there's a lot on the line for both of them. It's about pride, really, whichever way you look at it. It's a competitive match, so of course both of them want the winner's purse. They don't want the loser's chunk, and they don't want that loss on the record, especially with the size of the ego of the both of them. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Stud, as I just mentioned, last time out the guy, he won his match. Charmin's only had one match at the moment, and to be fair to him, it wasn't one-on-one, it was that showcase match. He didn't win that, so I guess you could say he has lost one, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, this is his first one-on-one match, and again, it's sort of a debut of sorts. So like Robinson earlier, he's making a sort of debut on pay-per-view, but not really. Whereas Robinson's was his pure in-ring debut. And of course, Stud at the moment, he absolutely loves the spotlight, so this is right in his ballpark. He's gonna bring him the brightest lights are on, so this could be where he shows out the most. It's been an absolutely epic start to this pay-per-view as well. I've absolutely enjoyed both matches actually a lot. The Brock Cruz one just was better than I was expecting, and Charmin here going for the win straight away with a submission, but he's not going to get it that early. But maybe that's just a little message there to Stud, that he's not coming to play here, Charmin. He's a hell of a big dude as well, absolutely. I mean, Stud is not a small man by any means, but next to Charmin, I mean, this universe mode is Land of the Giants, really. It's there's some really big dudes in this, but they're so athletic as well. They're truly the best of the best are here. That's what I believe anyway. And we've seen them go at each other week on week now. Maybe eventually. Beautiful overhead belly to belly there, and that's exactly what I'm saying, the explosiveness to go along with the size there from Charmin. It's a dangerous combination for Stud to find himself in, and there's a big backbreaker, and look at the strength here, fall away slam, what a combination of moves there, and he's going to go for the pin again, Charmin. It's one, it's not even a one. We do know Stud's got heart though, we know that for a fact. He holds match of the series so far, in my opinion. Maybe that tag match with Robinson, Buster, Dixon and George, just in terms of the sheer brutality of it, might have overtaken that. It depends what you guys like, really. But that's Stud for me. AI versus AI definitely holds match of the series so far. Here is Charmin now, and the big powerbomb explodes. Stud back down there, and he's just having his way with him. He's going back for that Boston Crab again. He's Charmin at the moment. This time Stud's struggling a little bit more, and that's only off a few moves put together by Charmin, so you can see the strength and the impact that it's having when he hits Stud with anything, really. He needs to use his experience here, does Stud, and he's doing just that with a neck crank, just slowing things down a little bit, getting his get some wind back into those lungs, recomposing himself and going again. And he's going for the submission himself here, and look at the angle of Alex Charmin's neck there. That is brutal from Stud, and Charmin does get out. I thought for a second he was going to tap there and straight back into that overhead belly to belly from the perilous position, really. He was just in, he explodes back onto the offense. He can't keep it going this time. Now, oh, can he? That is a huge chop. Absolutely huge. And what is he going for here now? Another powerbomb, jackknife variety this time. And no way is he going to the top rope. What on earth are we going to see here? It's the version of the Twisted Bliss, paying homage to one of his trainers there, and he's gonna look for the big finish here. We have seen this before, the charm attack. No, yes, he did. He hesitated there for a second, but it worked. It's one, it's two, and Stud's not done. He's kicked out at the very last second. Wow, how on earth has he managed to kick out of that combination of moves? And how impressive, by the way, is Alex Charmin at the moment. He's really showing out here. Big elbow drop now. He seems to have it all. He's huge, he's fast, he's diving off the top rope. The power in his finishers, everything. He seems to have it all, and it's a one, it's a two. And Rivers gets that shoulder up again. Is there going to be frustration from Charmin at the moment? No, he's going for another submission here, a figure four around the neck. It's kind of turnabouts his fair play there, really. Stud manages to slither his way out of that one. But again, Charmin on the attack, just absolutely disposing of Stud there, just launching him over that top rope. What are we going to see on the outside? He's got Stud up here at the moment and slams him spine first onto the hardest part of this ring, and he's staying on that midsection. Oh, big German there. He's held on as well into a ripcord lariat. Jesus, man, this guy, he's absolutely just wiping Stud out at the moment. I don't know how much more of this he can take, but as I say that, again, he uses that experience and that technical prowess there to get the reversal. And what we're seeing here, told you so, outside the ring from Stud Rivers, and again Charmin takes one of Stud's biggest moves and just comes straight back on the offense. And again, charm attack this time, it is on the outside of the ring. Stud picks him straight back up, and I thought he might throw him in the ring there, but no. More brutal offense here. These guys are putting on a hell of a show tonight. Everyone has turned it up a notch. The brutality has gone up a notch, and there again with the stairs, Charmin. And you'll notice that there is no countouts in this one. I believe, and I did actually forget, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I believe this is an Extreme Rules match, and they're Stood into the steps midsection first. Goes Charmin, and this time he's just chucked him to the floor. But for the first time, and this is going to give Stud a bit of hope, I think. Oh, again into the stairs. You heard that one this time as well. I thought he was going to go for it again there, but no, he's really took over this match. And what I was going to say was, you can now, for the first time in the match, start to see the effect that his offense is having on Charmin. He's not just bouncing back up to offense anymore. It is starting to take an effect, and that's going to give Stud a lot of encouragement. Oh, into the ring post this time. Just pillar to post or stairs to post at the moment, Charmin. And Stud is really enjoying this. It's a big crucial point, I feel, in this match. He needs to capitalise on what he's built here, does Stud, and are we going to see him do that? Into the corner, he sends Charmin. Big kick there. And oh, we saw this earlier, not in this match, but earlier in the night from Robinson, I believe it was, to George. We're seeing it again, the big drop kick, the sliding drop kick. A lot of the guys on this roster seem to like that one. It busted Charmin and he's in trouble here. It's 1, it's 2, and it is 3. Stud has turned this around after taking a hell of a beating and manages to pick up the win. And of course he's going to drink this one in. He's had to fight bloody hard for this one tonight underneath the brightest of lights in this universe mode so far. The guy who seems to love that the absolute most on this roster has just picked up a huge win against Charmin, and it is back to the drawing board. And what, guys, what does this do to the relationship between these two guys now? Does it make it more intense? Is there now going to be respect from Charmin towards Stud because he's got the victory over him? You would imagine so. Who knows, but in any event, Charmin loses, Stud gets an absolute massive win on a pay-per-view. He's definitely back on the right track now, and we'll have to wait and see. Maybe just one night. I don't actually know who's next up in the tournament for Raw, but we'll see how things develop now moving forwards. And you know also what the fallout of all these pay-per-view matches is actually going to have on Raw for the next couple of weeks coming forwards. But who knows, all I do know is this has been an absolutely great show tonight, and things are probably, hopefully, only going to continue to get better and better, because the next match up tonight is Johnny Justice, and he's going against Hunter King, no less. This is going to be a huge test for Hunter and also for Justice, because Hunter King, as we know, here he is now. He's seemingly the same as the Viking Warrior, who is actually on the card as well tonight, by the way. They both seem at the moment just a little bit invincible almost. This guy though, mentally, he's completely unflappable. He's always calm, measured, he's always in a meditative state. We know he's big into his spirituality, and the biggest thing that you can say about him really is exactly what I've just said. He's completely undefeated, so massive test for Johnny Justice tonight. But having said that, the Viking Warrior, who I mentioned earlier, his representative, his agent, his manager, whatever you want to call it, he's started to get into the ear of Johnny Justice. He's made him an approach almost. He obviously sees a lot of potential in Justice, and he thinks that he can help mold that, or I don't know, kind of put it all together, focus it, all the skills that Justice has got, and really push him forward, because he's the most well-rounded competitor we have on the roster at the moment is Justice, and that's why for that man there, Hunter King, tonight, this is going to be a massive test for him. We know that Justice has got that MMA background. He's very well versed in Muay Thai. He's very well versed in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's very well versed in the amateur catch wrestling style. And York, who's actually coming out with him tonight, but it's on a trial basis between these two at the moment, thinks that's the word I was looking for earlier, thinks he can harness all of that, focus it, and really get the best out of Johnny Justice. And if he can do that, we have got potentially, I don't know if he's too far behind at the moment, but potentially someone who can get himself into those brackets at the end of this tournament and could legitimately go all the way. The only thing that I would say for Justice is when he fights Rutan, there's going to be a conflict of interest there, and how will that then go on and affect the relationships between Rutan, between Justice, and between both of them and Stephen York, their representative. That's something I'm sure that if he does get Justice into his stable, almost, if you like, that he's already working on and trying to figure out right now. We'll wait and see. But if it all goes wrong against Hunter King tonight, we might not have to worry about that. And wow, he's going for the cover already. And it's one aggressive start from Hunter. And he will know that that's exactly what he's going to have to do tonight, especially with York outside the ring. We haven't really seen much of him and what he's capable of doing from the outside, York, because Rutan is so dominant, he's so in control of his matches. We might see more of him tonight, and you see him going for the distraction here already, helping his potential client out. And that's created an opening there for Johnny. And oh man, does he ever take advantage of that. A standing release German suplex and straight into a gut wrench now. What we're going to see here, just delaying it for the moment, turns it into a powerbomb of sorts. And Stephen York there outside the ring, loving what he's seen from his potential client at the moment. And Justice as well is probably loving what's going on in this, because the opening, oh man, straight over the top rope to the throat there. The opening for all this offense was created by York, but it's a one, and that's all it is at the moment. And Hunter came out the blocks explosively in this one, but since then it's been all Justice. But just as I say that now, look at the aggression pouring out of King here. It's rare that we've seen that. We saw it a lot in the opening weeks, but the past 2-3 weeks maybe, we've not seen that kind of aggression from him. Maybe he's figured out he's going to have to go back there tonight, and he absolutely just launched Justice into those buckles. It come flying out, it hurt him a lot, that, and into a big scoop slam, but Justice rolls out the way and he's straight back on the offense. And I just about there to the right of the screen see Stephen York starting to move around the ring, and oh, a chair's just come in. As we saw a nice move from Justice, the chair is in the ring at the moment. Is he going to use that, Justice, or is he going to try and get this the way that we've seen him do it? He doesn't really go outside the rule book all that much. Maybe that's something that York will bring out of him, as the ref's being distracted by him now. He's used the chair. He did use the chair, and he's tossed it out now, so the ref didn't see that, but surely he heard it. That is new from Justice. We've not seen that from him before. And look at the way he's stretching Hunter King out there. King manages to fight out of that, but big right hand from Justice. But Hunter back in charge right now. I can't believe he's just used the chair. I never would have thought that of him. What are we seeing here now? Reversal from Justice, but bang. Big clothesline from King there. But again, the referee is distracted by Stephen York, and Hunter is fuming over that, and of course he would be. This is big pay-per-view win, and did you just see that knee to the chest there? More aggression out of Justice tonight than I think we've ever seen, to be honest. And York's paying big dividends for him already at the moment. What we're seeing here now, one German is holding on to it though. No ripcord like we saw earlier. We're seeing another German, and there is a third. And at the moment, Hunter King is in big trouble, and we're going to go for the cover. The ref's in position. It is one, it is two, but that's all it is. Hunter showing that heart that we've seen from him quite a lot lately to keep himself alive in this match. Big back body drop there as he's getting up, and he's lining something up here, but look at that from Justice. Just rolls outside the ring, so whatever it was Hunter was thinking there, he can't actually hit it, and that was silly of him. And it's another German, and Jesus Christ, he went straight across the ring there, did King. There's a lot of aggression coming out of Justice at the moment. Again, we've not really seen this before, and there it is. That is Hunter King's sudden Justice. Referee in position now. It's two, and it is three, and oh my God, Justice has beaten Hunter King. Hunter's lost. More history being made at SummerSlam tonight. He's lost. He's never lost. He's never even looked like losing, really. But we have definitely seen a different Johnny Justice tonight, and I don't think that Hunter was ready for it. to be honest, we've seen a different side of Stephen York tonight as well, a side we don't normally have to see with the Viking Warrior, but he has literally played a big part in the shock of this universe mode probably so far. That is unreal. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. Wow, Hunter lost. Wow. What, you can't understate the size of this win and what it could potentially do for the universe mode career of Johnny Justice right now. This was a trial tonight for Stephen York to see whether Justice was actually going to sign on with him, and you've got to say how impressive he has looked tonight. Surely he signs that contract and he has to sit there and think about what happens now when Rutan and Justice face each other. Maybe he doesn't come out to that one. I don't know. Maybe Justice still won't sign with him. I'm talking like it's a done deal, but it's not. Wow, what a show we have had tonight. The opener was as brutal and somewhat disturbing as you would like. It's ultra competitive second match between Brock Cruz and A-List Spawn, and then we had the match between Alex Charmin and Stud Rivers. That delivered as well. And now the biggest shock of the universe mode so far, we see Hunter King finally taking a loss to Johnny Justice. Wow, what a show we have had so far, and it is obviously not over yet, because as you can see, we're now moving into the next match. Now this pay-per-view is known as Last Minute, and this was a last minute match that we're about to see now. Was not scheduled to be on the card tonight, but Alpha Jackson was running around backstage and he was like, how am I not on this card tonight? He had no one to fight. Cannon, being the kind of guy that he is, he turned around and says, I'll fight you. And there you go. That is as quick as this match was put together. Very last minute thing, and well, we are at SummerSlam last minute, so it's only fitting, I suppose, that we had a last minute match put together. So under the brightest of lights, as we've said so many times tonight, everybody, absolutely everyone that has been on this card tonight has stepped it up a notch, has gone up a gear. I fully expect to see more of that tonight as Cannon takes on Alpha Jackson. And we're seeing the real cream of the crop rise to the top tonight, because I just did not and still cannot get over the fact that Johnny Justice has just gone and beaten Hunter King. That is absolutely unreal. And it is now up to these two to keep up the standard of the matches in this pay-per-view tonight. And Alpha being Alpha, he's got a lot of amateur experience and things like that. I would fully expect that we are going to see another absolute banger tonight. Cannon Diamond as well. He wants the spotlight on him. It's not really been on him yet, if we're being honest. Cornerstone as a unit have been a little bit underwhelming. They are the only stable in our universe mode at the moment, and you would think with that kind of number advantage that they've got, that they would be doing more. And especially Cannon as well, the size of him, the sports background and everything else. I just thought there might be a little bit more that we'd have seen out of them, but we haven't seen it. But it doesn't mean it's not there, it just means that we haven't seen it yet. And I have to say, I'm quite surprised that we're not seeing Spike Jackson out here tonight with Alpha, considering that all of Cornerstone is here. We've seen that before when Alex Charmin came to the ring with Stud Rivers, but no sign of that tonight. But again, a big powerful start here from Cannon, but Jackson straight away using that leverage and that technique experience that he has got to take Cannon down to the ground, and that's where he's got to get him like he has, and that's exactly where he's got to keep him tonight if he's got any chance of being successful in this match. And he will know that, of course he will. Oh, big headbutt from Cannon there. big headbutt. But look at that again. Alpha there using Cannon's own momentum against him and taking him back to the ground once more. Just using that experience and that know-how again and keeping the match exactly where he wants it. Going for the quick cover now. This is just a mental thing really. He's showing Cannon that he's not here to play games tonight, that he wants in and out as quickly as he possibly can. And why wouldn't you while you're in the ring with this absolute huge man who's you don't want him to start throwing strikes. You definitely don't want that if you're Alpha. Turns him over now, but he's in the ropes, and his big frame there will help him with that quite a lot tonight, you would have thought. Alpha using his speed there this time, follows it up with a clothesline to the back, so Cannon wouldn't have seen that coming. But again, referee, Cannon Diamond there was clearly in the ropes, and we saw that in the A-list match tonight as well. The ref standard tonight has been really poor. He's probably been the worst performer of everyone. That is a big knee there though from Alpha to Cannon. And again, he's keeping his man grounded. It's an absolute bang-on strategy at the moment, and he's executing it flawlessly. Going to the legs now as well. Just amplifying everything that he's doing here. It's exactly what he needs to be doing. And Cannon needs to figure it out at the moment, and he might just be starting to do that now as we're seeing him use his size and his dominance and his strength advantage there. There's a lot on the line here for Cannon tonight in terms of Alpha Jackson in the championship tournament we have going on here at the moment. He's starting to make himself one of the front runners. He's picked up a wave of momentum. A lot of his results recently have been really good. So if Cannon could somehow get the win tonight against him, then that's going to do huge things for his confidence, his belief, his momentum going forwards. And he might just be about to do that right now as we've got an airplane spin here into a cut. A nice move there from Cannon. He calls that the diamond display, and that is normally the prelude to what we're going to see here. Are we going to see it though? We absolutely are, and there it is. It's the winning shot, and he's gone straight into the cover. It's two, but Alpha kicks out. I can't quite believe it. What a sequence of moves that was. I know they're the only ones he's hit, but those were big moves, and someone the size of him as well. That shows the heart of Alpha to kick out there. But Cannon's not got frustrated. If you've noticed, he's just gone straight in to another move there. Oh, and as I say that, he gets his leg kicked there, but he didn't lose any focus. He didn't get frustrated. He's actually bleeding at the moment. I don't know when that happened, but Alpha's coming unglued a little bit here. Jesus, did you see the distance he got on that leap there? Cannon goes for the clothesline, misses, gets hit with one of Alpha's instead. Alpha nips up, and we could be looking to the end of this match now as Alpha goes for his big move. He hits it as well, the spine buster. Is he going to go for the finish though? He's going for something here. It's not what I thought it was going to be, but it is a big stomp to the gut. He should really have gone for the cover after his spine buster, but who am I to comment? He's got the win. That was enough to put Cannon Diamond down, and he didn't need Spike Jackson tonight. He looked in all kinds of trouble, Alpha, and then just found that other gear out of nowhere, exploding with the clotheslines. The distance that he covered to hit him with the big jumping clothesline in the corner was absolutely, it was just phenomenal. I thought it was over here with a diamond display, but no. And Cannon did exactly what he was supposed to do. You see it here, hits the winning shot to follow that diamond display up. Big heart from Alpha, who then just exploded, like I said, and the distance he got on that clothesline into the corner from the leap was absolutely phenomenal. Follows it up with his spine buster and a stomp to the gut, and that is enough for Alpha to get a big win tonight, to carry on that momentum. That's going to do wonders for him as he continues, like I said, to show himself as one of the top runners and one of the favourites emerging maybe in this tournament. We'll have to wait and see, but he wanted on that card tonight, and he was probably more ready, I would say, than what Cannon was, because Cannon just agreed to fight him. It was Alpha that actually demanded and wanted a match. He got one at the very last minute, and he's won it, so congratulations to him. Big win, and we now move on into the last match of this card. It is the main event. It is Henry Bobby, who unbelievably has called out the Viking Warrior Max Rutan. Of course, Rutan wasn't going to turn down an opportunity to just beat someone up again, but we'll see how this develops. And yeah, main event time, guys. Let's get into it. Henry Bobby coming out first, and this guy, yeah, he's a big dude. Of course, he's a big dude, but he looks so unassuming. You wouldn't think that somebody like this, in only his second match here in Universe mode, has got the gall to call out the Viking Warrior. Another person, another competitor, another wrestler, another star, whatever you want to call them, who has not lost a single match here in Universe mode, the Viking Warrior. But Hunter King lost tonight. Surely it doesn't happen again, does it? No, Henry Bobby seems to think so. He's frustrated because everyone is trying to discredit that win that he got in the showcase match, saying it wasn't one-on-one. You got Buster and Robinson saying, well, Robinson wasn't in the match. If he was, there was only one other outcome, and of course that would be Robinson winning. And now he wants to shut up all the naysayers. He wants to shut up the doubters, the haters, whatever you want to say, and he wants to prove himself. And there is no bigger way at this point in time in this Universe mode than having the guts to call out the Viking Warrior. Was it a smart move? I don't think so, personally. But we're going to find out, because out to the ring now is coming the Viking Warrior. And when he stands across from Henry Bobby is going to probably realise what everyone else has so far, is that you do not want to be crossing paths with this man. The guy, you can see the scar on the face, we've mentioned it before. He trains really with real axes and shields. He fully lives this Viking lifestyle, and so far you have to say it has served him so well. He was, when he first started, he looked unflappable even then, but since teaming up with Stephen York, and he's now able to just focus his mind on the in-ring side of the business and let Stephen York handle all the outside noise, he's gone up another gear as Rutan. He's much more vicious and aggressive now. Before aligning himself with York, he wanted big fights. His matches were taking longer than what they are now, but now he just goes in, takes care of business, gets the job done, and you can see how confident he looks. But I suppose you could say, in another way, he's against another undefeated opponent here tonight, because Henry Bobby has only had one match himself, but he did win it, so technically he is unbeaten. And that was a tough test he had to come through in that showcase match. That is something that we'll probably not see that many times. It is, well, it's called a war match is what it was crowned, because it was 4, 5, 6 guys, I can't fully remember. Sorry again, guys, I am really suffering at the moment, but we're not going to talk about that. It was 4, 5, 6 guys, and the only way in that match you could get a decision. And look at the strength of Bobby there, just manhandling the Viking Warrior. Yeah, the only way you could get a decision in that match was actually by tapping out your opponents, and we're going for the cover here, so let's hold that thought. It's not even a 1 count at this point, and Rutan was straight back to his feet as you would expect. But Bobby there with the clothesline in the back, we saw how effective that was actually in the last match. And he throws Rutan outside the ring, so at the moment just establishing his dominance, and Stephen York there getting involved again, helping his man back to his feet. But Bobby is doing exactly what he needs to do until he misses the strike there, and outside the ring that's just going to hurt even more. But yeah, I was going back to it, the war match that we had, you could only get a decision by tap out, so yeah, that was a tough test for Bobby, but he came through it, and at the moment he's reaping the benefits because he's now headlining our very first ever pay-per-view. But unfortunately the guy he called out, he's just a level above everyone else in this universe mode at the moment. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But if anyone can do it, probably Bobby can at the moment. We're going for the pin. It's 1, it's 2, and he kicks out. The only thing that really, well, I'd say the only thing, it's another thing that Bobby has got to worry about is the harder the test, the more competitive the match, the more the Viking Warrior seems to like it, and there we see it. That is the blood kick, and it's probably going to get the job done here. It's 1, it's 2, and it is 3. And the Viking Warrior, I mentioned it earlier, he does not mess around anymore. He's not bothered about putting on the big, long matches. He just comes in here, he gets the job done, and he gets out. And like I said, wait a minute, we've seen this before. We've seen this before. The after the match antics of the Savage, of the Viking Warrior, of Max Rutan, as he just continues to put the boots to an already beaten Henry Bobby. Yeah, he doesn't care about all the big long matches anymore. He just comes in, gets the job done, and gets on out of here. He's not paid by the hour, Rutan, and well, absolutely demolishes Henry Bobby. And you've got to wonder now, the haters, the naysayers, the doubters, they've been proven right to a certain extent. Bobby pulls out the biggest dog in the yard at the moment, gets his ass beat, and now maybe we're going to have to see him, when he can get back in the ring again, scratch and claw his way from the bottom of the ladder, and that has hurt his career, I think. It was a bold move to call out the Warrior, like I said. It was a very, very bold move, but it's one that has unfortunately for Henry Bobby backfired. He bit off more than he could chew tonight, and Rutan looks as dominant as ever. And with Hunter King losing tonight, and maybe that's going to hurt his momentum, Rutan could find himself now stretching away in this championship tournament and putting his name as the first one into the brackets. We'll have to wait and see. But guys, what a night we have had here. I've absolutely had a ball with this. It's been a struggle, but in another way it hasn't, just because it's been so fun. I hope that comes across to you guys. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. I think I may have mentioned it earlier, but if not, please do hit that like, please do hit that subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any future episodes. But that is going to do it from me tonight, guys. This was SummerSlam Last Minute, and I thank you all so much for being here with me. Good night.